What's going on, family? I'm Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to continue to examine 100 years of World Championship fights. Now, in between World Championship fights, I will be remembering significant fights that would take the toll on a future champion. And on the night of February 20th, 1948, world-ranked light heavyweight champion Ezzard would knock out Stillman's Gym's warrior, Sammy Barudi, 10 rounds in Chicago, Illinois. Following morning, Sammy Barudi would die from cerebral hemorrhaging of the brain. Now, Sam Barudi would face Newton Smith 6 months prior to this fight, and he was KO'd. 1947, Barudi faced a hard-punching light heavyweight, Bob Satterfield. Now, who was Bob Satterfield? His name was Robert Satterfield. He was born November 9th, 1923, St. Louis, Missouri. He died June 1st, 1977. He was 53 years of age at the time of his death, and he would reside in Chicago, Illinois. He stood 6'2". He was a heavyweight and fought from 1945 to 1957. Now, he fought and campaigned the majority of his fights from light heavyweight, but he fought heavyweights as a light heavyweight. He had a total bout career of 79 fights, 50 wins, 25 losses, and 36 knockouts. Either you got Bob Satterfield or Bob Satterfield got you. That's pretty much cut and dry of what it was. Now, Barudi met Sam Satterfield on the night of January 24th, 1948. And after his defeat of Albert Johnson, Barudi versus Bob Satterfield. Wow, that was the news of the town. And my dad knew Bob Satterfield. We also knew Sam Barudi, because his locker was about 2 lockers away from Sam Barudi and Stillman's Gym. And he reminds me all the time of what Sam Barudi always said. When he walked into the gym and he saw guys sparring, he would say, "I'm hitting hard today." Or when he was leaving the gym, he would put on his 3-piece suit, fedora hat, overcoat if necessary. And the way Stillman's Gym was, you would have the press in the front row. And if it looked like two fighters was making a lot of noise, meaning they were creating a crowd around the ring, on the way out the door, Sammy would stop and go back to the ring, see what the fuss was about. When the bell would ring, Sammy would tell that fighter, "Stay right there, I'll be right back." And he would get undressed, put back on his boxing gear. He said, "I got next." That was Sam Barudi, according to the memory of my dad. Now, the Sam Barudi-Bob Satterfield fight was on the undercard of Bo Jack versus Johnny Bratton, Chicago's finest. And Johnny Bratton would be a future NBA welterweight champion when he would defeat Charlie Fusari for the vacant NBA welterweight championship strap that would be vacated by the great Ray Robinson. One of the most exciting bouts in boxing history. Barudi went down 2 times. Bob Satterfield went down 6 times. Before Satterfield was stopped, Ezzard dropped Sam Barudi in the 10th round. And Sam Barudi began pounding the canvas with his right hand in sequence of the referee, as he himself was being counted out. He would roll over to his side, and he would be in a coma. Sam was carried out to the ambulance and brought back to Oak County Hospital. It's actually called Cook County Hospital. It was in Cook County. Ezzard Charles would convince his manager, Jake Mintz, to go with him while spending time at the hospital. He would spend the entire night on a hard bench, waiting for the results. Now, who was Sam Barudi? His name was Samuel Crandall. He was born August 29th, 1926, Akron, Ohio. He died February 21st, 1948. He was 21 years of age at the time of his death. Chicago, Illinois. Stood 6 foot, weighed 176 pounds. And fought from May 15th, 1945 to February 21st, 1948. He had a total bout career of 56 fights, 41 wins, 21 knockouts, 11 losses, 2 draws, and 2 no contests. Now, Sam Barudi is to your left. And Ezzard Charles is to your right. Now, Ezzard Charles would defeat Archie Moore 3 times, Charlie Billy twice. And Ezzard Charles was a wanted man by Jimmy Bivens, by Sam Barudi, because he sparred with Ezzard Charles in Stillman's gym. And he saw how quick Ezzard Charles was raising in a ranking system, how quickly he was rising in a ranking system. And he wanted to repeat that action. Sammy Barudi wanted a piece of that action, mildly put. And you know, getting Ezzard Charles in the ring would make a lot of money for him. But he was in the ring with Bob Satterfield. And he was in the ring with Newton Smith. And the following year, Burt Lytell would kill a man. And it was just a tough time. And Burt Lytell, who my dad knew as well. Matter of fact, Burt Lytell and Charles both killed an opponent the same year. So it was 1948. I believe it was 3 deaths that year in the ring. So Sam Barudi was an outstanding fighter. He really was. His life was cut short at the age of 21. And this would have an effect on Ezzard Charles. Now, Ray Robinson would cut short the life of 22-year-old Jimmy Doyle. But Doyle was cracked by Ida Levine 6 months prior. So how do you know? How do you know? And I'm sharing this story with you because that's the story that was shared with me by my dad. Shout out to Sam Barudi. R.I.P. to Ezzard Charles. Green Greats, 100 years, World Championship fight, Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series.